Okay, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about internal conflict for a second. And rather than tell you the struggle within the mind of a character or story, I'm going to show you that. This is a perfect example. If you've ever seen Emperor's New Groove, here it is. If you haven't, enjoy.
You're not just gonna let him die like that,
My shoulder angel.
Don't listen to that guy. He's trying to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm gonna lead you down the path that rocks.
I'll come off it.
You come off it.
You.
You Infinity. Listen up, big guy. I got 3 good reasons why you should just walk away. Number 1, look at that guy. He's got that sissy stringy music thing.
We've been through this. It's a harp, and you know it.
All right, that's a harp, and that's a dress.
Robe.
Reason number 2, look what I can do.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Listen, you guys. You're sort of confusing me, so, be gone. Or, however I get rid of you guys.
That'll work.
Okay, so pretty basic. Talking to himself or something like that. That's internal conflict. External conflict, going off of the same story, that would be, well, Kronk isn't the main character, but it would be Kuzco versus Pacha versus Yzma and Kronk. I mean, and himself, really, although himself would be like internal because he's kind of a bad guy, and it's his progress or his journey that helps him be more empathetic or caring about others. That would make him a dynamic character, but not a flat character. Someone who's a flat character in that story would probably be the chipmunk, because we see him like once, and we see that he's we see him a couple times. He doesn't have any development. He's just the chipmunk that's nice and provides an acorn or information to Kronk. Kind of interesting. Monologue. I think Yzma monologues quite a bit in that story. Like the part where I'm going to mail that flea, or turn him into a flea and put him in a box and mail that box to myself and smash it with a hammer. That would be a monologue. The setting, this is basically Peru, is where the setting is probably sometime BC or maybe like, I don't know, 400 AD, something like that, where there's a Peruvian empire. Foil character. Kronk is kind of the foil character to Pacha, if that makes sense. And as well as, if you think about it, Yzma is the foil to Kuzco. They're like the opposite character. The exposition would be at the beginning of this story where Kuzco is like showing himself as a llama, and he's like explaining like where we are, how we got into this mess, and kind of building sympathy. That's it. It explains and includes like setting and things, but everything that happens in the story is the plot. So naturally, the exposition is part of the plot. The rising action in this story would be like. I don't think the climax is when he gets turned into a llama. The rising action would be part of him getting turned into a llama, because it's an event that builds him up to, oh, I'm going to actually do the right thing, or become friends with this guy. It's really hard to say where the climax is. Maybe what he does after he turns back into a human. And which brings us to the point of greatest interest in the story. That's the climax. Maybe it's different for other people. It could be it could be Cusco turning back into a human and Yzma getting what she deserves, which is remaining a cat, or something like that. Yeah. Falling action would be like Pacha going to visit and finding that his home is not going to be destroyed because the Emperor's kind of changed his heart, and Pacha has had an influence on Cusco. And then you just see the scene with the Emperor visiting Pacha in the pool, and Pacha's wife makes the Emperor like this little I don't know, a llama pullover or whatever you call it. Now that's so a proper adjective. We have to cover some grammar. A proper adjective is derived from. It's a proper noun, or excuse me. Wow, it's an adjective derived from a proper noun. So like Chinese is derived from China, right? But you're going to describe a noun, which would be food. So Chinese food. American pastime, Sears catalog. Those are all adjectives derived from proper nouns. So naturally they are capitalized, as you can see. It's a proper adjective. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, so this slide kind of shows you the whole exposition, setting, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution, everything. All of this right here, these events are the plot. Okay, the story structure, it's the plot, it's the whole thing. Okay, the exposition is your the background information, and you have events leading up to your climax. And then everything that happens after the climax would be the resolution or falling action. Okay? Now that you know how it all comes together, we're going to make a story. Okay, this is your assignment for today. You're going to create a story in 9 sentences. Okay, and I have taken pictures of the dice, so we're not worrying too much of the dice. You have 3 sentences for the beginning of your story, in which you have to cover the setting, the characters, and give any background information in 3 sentences. So maybe you want to do 1 for each of those. And then you're going to do 3 for middle of the story. You're going to have to show what the conflict is, maybe add a little suspense, the climax, and rising action. Although rising action kind of falls in here a little bit, so there's a little bit of leeway between these two. And then you're going to do 3 sentences for the end of the story, the falling action, the resolution. Epilogue, maybe you can have an epilogue, you don't have to. But this is these are your dice. So you're going to have 1 sentence per dice, right? So my example sentence could be, there once was a fish named Fred who lived in a stream. That covers my character, and that covers where I'm at, a stream somewhere, right? He got shot with an arrow, and then cooked over a campfire. And then I can introduce a new turtle. But the person who shot him didn't like the taste of fish. So that night he buried the fish. So that would be night. He buried the fish, and he caught a turtle. And he liked the, and I should give this person a name. Let's call him Joe. Joe liked the taste of turtle. Okay, he liked the taste of turtle. But as he was finishing his meal, he got abducted by aliens, and they took off from the Great Pyramids of Giza because they built them. The end. Yeah, that's the basic story structure, and that's what you're going to write on paper. You don't have to do these in any particular order. I just like to do it from start to finish. But you can decide your order. But that is what we are doing, and good luck.